Can't really see you guys. It's mostly just to see me. So you're good. Alright, you have 5 minutes to answer these 2 questions with a complete sentence. And make sure you restate the question in your answer. So my first answer would say a noun is blah blah blah. An adjective is blah blah blah. An example of a noun is blah blah blah. We've been going over nouns and adjectives for a while. What is a noun? What is an adjective? What is a noun? What is an adjective? You don't need a sentence. An example would be, example is, and that would be your answer. Right? Now do the same thing for an adjective. But do the same thing for an adjective. 3 more minutes. And I don't even think you need the full 3 minutes. Everybody should have the first part of this one done. First question should be done. You should all be on the second question already. One more minute. Getting stuck on adjectives. Escribe. Why do we say escribe? Good. Time's up. I see Yumi helping a classmate out. All right. What is, I'm going to answer these on the sideboard. Okay? What is a noun? Let's see, Genesis, what is a noun? Perfect. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. That's what your sentence should have said. Right? What is an example of a noun? No, I mean. Give me a full sentence. An example of a noun is school. It's a place, right? We said nouns are people, places, or things. I'm not going to write it. It sounds like you guys can just listen and write down the answer. Good, good. What is an adjective? This one, it looked like some people were having trouble, but we're going to be focusing on adjectives today. So, what is an adjective? No, I mean, what is an adjective? A word that describes a noun. So if you did not have the word the definition of adjective, a word that describes a noun. Okay. What's an example? What's an example of an adjective? Looks like everybody's still writing the answer. Adjective. A word that describes a noun is an adjective. Now what would be an example of an adjective?
Yellow.
Yellow, right? Give me it in a full sentence, like Allison did. And
Example for adjective is yellow.
an example for adjectives is yellow. Yellow, a color, something that describes the color of something. Okay, cool. Why are we talking about nouns and adjectives today, Ms. Quesada? This seems easy stuff. We've been learning this all year. Give us something harder. You got it. I'll give you something harder. Okay? So today, we're going to be learning about what we call superlative adjectives and comparative adjectives. And you guys have seen on your Lexia and on your Lexia English programs, you've kind of already touched on it a little bit. You've kind of already started learning about them a little bit. Now we're going to really understand how to do it. Right? So let's read the first objective. Let's see. Noemi, will you read me the first objective, please?
I will be able to what is
Superlative. Everybody say superlative.
superlative.
I didn't hear that very well. Let's try it again. Superlative.
Superlative.
Okay, we'll get better at it. Superlative.
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 Go ahead.
A superlative adjective is a how it is looking at
Comparative.
comparative adjective.
Good. Genesis, can you read me the second bullet?
I will be able to compare two or more nouns using comparative or superlative
Good.
adjectives.
Good. So, today we're not only going to learn what a comparative adjective is and what a superlative adjective is, we're going to learn what they are. But we're also going to learn how do we use them? How do we use them to compare things? Now, Yumi and Allison, this is going to be a review for you guys, so I'm going to depend on you guys to help the girls out if they get stuck a little bit, okay? Because we went over this end of last year. So this is a little bit of review for you, but we're going to do it again. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a packet to follow along and take notes through, okay? Now this packet has holes. When I put holes in it, what does it mean? It goes in your binder. It's notes that you should keep somewhere safe so that if you forget how to do it, if you forget how it's done, you can always go back and reference the notes. So, we're going to start with comparative adjectives. And you'll learn in the video that comparative adjectives are used to compare two nouns. Right? Noemi, what's your question now? You need an eraser? I can let you borrow mine. But I'll need it back because I only have one. It's the one that I use for my other students too. So you can borrow that one for today, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start the video. Okay, so you're gonna need to use your listening skills because some of the stuff isn't gonna show up on the screen. You have to listen for the answer, okay? You have to listen for what you have to write in the blank. And I'll pause it as we go. Hopefully I won't rewind it every time, but I'll pause it as we go so that you guys can take down the notes that show up on the screen, okay?
Oh no, you can't hear it.
Comparative adjectives.
Can you guys hear it okay? Or up high?
What are adjectives? Adjectives are words that describe nouns. Adjectives can give us information such as the size or age of a noun. Adjectives can also tell us someone's opinion about a noun or describe how someone is feeling. We use
Oh, we need to go back a little bit. Went a little fast, huh? Okay. I'll pause it there just because it goes really fast. What did it say? Adjectives what? Describe what? Describe nouns. Adjective describe nouns. They can give us information like how big something is, or how tall someone is, or how young something or someone is. They can give us an opinion, right? As beautiful is kind of an opinion. I can think something is beautiful, somebody else might not think the same thing as me. I can think something is expensive, but somebody with a lot of money might think, that's not that expensive. I can think something is delicious because it's spicy, but somebody that doesn't like spicy food might be like, that's not that good, right? So those things are opinions. Those words are opinion words. And then there's words that are feeling words, like happy, like tired, like hungry. Those are adjectives that tell us how somebody or something feels. Okay?
Use comparative adjectives to compare two people, places, or things. Comparative adjectives tell us how one noun is different from the other.
Okay, so I'm going to pause right there. So it says, nouns are what, according to the thing? People. What else? Places or things. And we also know that it can also be ideas. All right? It says we use what? We use comparative. That's what goes in the first one. Comparative adjectives to compare.
Adjective.
Yep. We use comparative adjectives to compare how many nouns? It's up there, to compare how many nouns. We use comparative adjectives to compare how many things. 2, we use comparative adjectives to compare 2 nouns. Okay, you'll see what we need in a second. They tell us how one noun is different from the other. This is why I'm saying you're going to have to listen for the answer, okay? There it goes there, yep. You need to be listening, Genesis. All right? It's different from the other. Let's keep going.
For example, she is taller than him. This painting is more beautiful than that painting.
I'm going to pause there because that one's different. The first one says she is what? She is taller. You see how we added an ER to tall? To say that she is more tall than him? We added ER. But when we talked about beautiful, we used 2 words. What did we say? This painting is?
More beautiful.
More beautiful. Why? Why can't we say beautifuler? You'll find out why today. We're going to go over those rules in a second. Beautiful is more beautiful than that painting. What do you think is going to be in the other one? My brother looks blank than my sister.
Happier.
Let's find out. Let's see how we spell it.
My brother looks happier than my sister.
What do you notice happens to the Y in happy?
Change to IE.
It changes to an I, and then we add ER. Happier than my sister. You and me, I'm already looking at you. So let's go over some of these rules, okay? There might be some more examples too.
How are comparative adjectives formed in English? It depends on how many syllables the adjective has. For one-syllable adjectives, we add ER to the adjective. For example, short becomes shorter. If the adjective ends in a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, we double the final consonant before adding ER. For example, big becomes bigger. For two-syllable adjectives that end in Y, we change Y to I and add ER. For example, hungry becomes hungrier, and noisy becomes noisier. For adjectives that are two syllables or more, we use the word more before the adjective. For example, modern becomes more modern, and expensive becomes more expensive.
Okay, I'm going to pause right there because I also want you guys to add. So, I want you to notice that on this one, we use, remember the 1-1-1 rule, right? If the word is one syllable and it ends in one vowel and one consonant, then you have to double the consonant and then add ER. Kind of like when we were doing ing, same thing, right? Anytime we're adding a suffix, if the word is one syllable, what do I mean by syllable?
A.
Not A. Me has two syllables.
Oh.
Pendensis has three syllables.
Sure.
Allison, how many syllables? 3. Is it only 3 letters in Allison's name? No, but it's 3 sounds, right? That the connection of letters makes. Does that make sense? So a syllable, big. How many syllables is big? 1 syllable, right? And it ends in 1 vowel and 1 consonant in that order. We said vowels are what letters? What letters are vowels? A,
B.
E,
A. I.
I, O, U, sometimes Y, right? If the word is 1 syllable and it ends in 1 vowel, A, E, I, or U, A, E, I, O, U, those are the vowels, and 1 consonant. What are consonants?
Okay.
Any letter that's not a vowel. Okay? Any letter that's not a vowel. So C, is it a vowel or a consonant? B, A, vowel. Okay? So if the letter ends in a vowel and a consonant, you have to double the last consonant and then add the ER. Okay? That's one of them. Okay? The other ones, if it ends in Y, you change the Y to a what? I, and then add ER. Right? So if I want to say that I am more hungry than Allison, how would I say it?
Hungry.
Miss Quesada is hungrier. Right? It wouldn't say more hungrier because the ER replaces the more. We're not going to use more anymore with these kinds of words. If the word has 1 syllable or 2 syllables, or sorry. Yeah. If the word has 1 syllable or 2 syllables and ends in Y. Now, ojo, if it doesn't end in Y and it has 2 or more syllables, beautiful. How many syllables? 3. Or words like Modern. Does it end in Y? Does modern end in Y? How many syllables does it have?
3,
Modern.
2,
2. But it doesn't end in Y. So those words, if they have 2 syllables and they do not end in Y, you won't add ER, you will add the word more before the adjective. Okay? Don't get hung up on the rules. You can study the rules tonight at home. Your exit ticket, you'll be able to use your notes. Just, I want you to understand the rules. Even if you don't memorize them today, I want you to understand them. Okay? So if the word has more than 2 syllables, 2 or more syllables, does not end in Y, that's when we say more modern. We wouldn't say modern-er. It sounds weird, right? Beautiful-er. Kind of hard to say. So we say more modern, more beautiful, expensive, more expensive, expensive. 3 syllables. Okay? Most words you're going to add ER to the end. But if the word has 2 or more syllables, you're going to have to use the word more before. So far so good. Any questions on that? Any questions on those rules? No? No? Okay, we're going to move on with the video then.
Some comparative adjectives in English don't follow the usual rules. For example, the adjective good becomes better in the comparative form. Bad becomes worse, and far becomes farther or further.
Okay, so these are exceptions. So we don't say gooder or more good, we would say what? Better. We won't say bad or badder, we would say worse. We don't say farer or more far, we would say what? Farther. Not father, because that's dad. Farther, with the R before the TH. Farther. Or further. Right? Okay. Okay.
what does it mean? But far mean?
Far.
Lejos?
San Francisco is very far
Lejos.
from here. Lejos. Yeah. So farther.
The most common sentence pattern for comparative adjectives in English is subject plus verb plus comparative adjective plus than plus object. Let's look at some examples of comparative adjectives in a sentence.
So
The
look at
blue house is bigger than the yellow house.
So let's look at this. We said it's subject, right? What's the subject in the sentence?
The blue house.
The blue house. And then the verb, in this case the verb is. And then the comparative adjective, we want to say the blue house is más grande que esta. So we would say
Bigger.
bigger than. Always use the word than when you're comparing two things. Bigger than the,
Yellow house.
and then the other object that you're comparing it to. Right? So you're comparing blue house and yellow house. Right? Blue house, yellow house. Blue house, yellow house. Okay? So how would we write the next sentence? Oh no, I clicked it.
ESL library.
Okay, we'll do this every time for you guys. Where do you want to write exceptions? Where's the blue house?
Blue house is bigger than the yellow house.
Make sure I just tap it.
Rock music is better than classical music.
Okay. So what is the comparative for good?
Better.
Better. So how would I write the sentence? It's up there. All you have to do is copy it. But this is good practice to know how to write it in the future, right? So we want to say rock music is verb, better than, comparative adjective, than, and then the object, classical music. Rock music is better than classical music.
lazier than my cat.
Ah, pay attention to the spelling of lazy. What do we do with the Y?
The singer is more famous than the actor.
So let me go back. What would the last one be? My dog is
More.
lazier, right? Lazier than
My cat.
my cat, right? Es más flojo, es más perezoso.
My dog is
Lazier than my cat. Make sure in lazy you replace the Y with the what? I, and then add ER. Okay? Then this one, we're comparing the singer to the actor. Famous. Ah, how many syllables are in famous?
3.
Famous. 2. Does it end in Y?
no.
No, so what would we have to say? More famous. Good. So we would have to say more famous. So how would I write the sentence? It's up there. The singer is more famous than the actor.
My boots are more expensive than your shoes.
So for expensive, again, we said expensive has expensive, 3 syllables, right? So we can't say expensiver, it makes the word too long. It's already a long word, so we have to say more expensive, right? My boots are more expensive than your shoes. Now let's practice.
Look at the adjective. Say or write the comparative adjective. For example, tall,
Good, write it down.
taller. Now you try.
More careful.
Write it down.
Okay.
He's giving you guys the answers. I don't appreciate that. You mean let everybody do the thinking for themselves. But I'm glad you get it, because then maybe when they need your help and you're doing partner work, you can help them. What would noisy be? Noiser? We've replaced the Y with something. Change it to an I, and then add ER. Noisier. What about dangerous?
More dangerous.
Why? Syllables? Yep, good, we're getting it. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing it. Oh no, I'm not getting it. Okay. Scared, scared. You guys already went ahead, you should be done with this. Bad?
Worse.
Worse. Okay, those are the exceptions. There's no rule to follow. You just have to remember that bad is the same as mal, worse.
Thanks for watching.
What would you put for beautiful?
More beautiful.
Why more beautiful, Genesis? Allison, why more beautiful? More than one? More than 2. Beautiful. So we don't want to say beautifuler because it already makes the word's already too long. We don't want to make it too much longer. So we say more beautiful. Right? All right. So that was comparatives.